Okay guys, so this is just a quick video describing how I would go about if I had to start from scratch all over again and I had a little bit of CAD knowledge and I wanted to get from 0 to 100K mark pretty quickly. So this is the strategy that I would use. And so I made a little bit of a lucid chart right here that kind of goes over exactly how I would do that. And pretty much the whole premise of that is that I would be using land survey as a vessel in order to start making capital and start making money using my CAD skills. So obviously in land surveying, right now, it's a pretty old business. Most of the surveyors who are currently working in there that are licensed are going to be dead or retire in the next few years. So that means the demand in the actual industry is increasing at the moment. There's competitive pay right now because of this demand, and you only need AutoCAD 2D knowledge. You don't even need AutoCAD 3D knowledge. The software that you actually use for most of them is either going to be AutoCAD Civil 3D, which is actually just an AutoCAD 2D with a couple extra plugins on top of it, or you're going to be using like MicroStation or Carlson, which is a weird surveying variant that only specifically surveyors use, but it's very similar to AutoCAD, just base 2D knowledge. So having that 2D knowledge gives you a lot, just because that you can learn a little bit of survey skills on top of it, and then from there pivot your skills and put them together and actually go after a job in land surveying. So kind of my theory is that the highest leverage drafting position that you could have right now is in land surveying. And because it's such a high in demand work right now, it's actually a pretty low barrier of entry. So anyone who's trying to actually get into the industry, if you have those CAD skills and you have those surveying skills and you're able to put them together, you can get hired relatively easy. You don't need a certification. You don't need any sort of background or schooling to do this. And you definitely don't need an engineering degree because I'm a college dropout. So anyways, within land surveying, I would kind of structure my life around these two kind of goals. And that would be getting a salary job at an office, as well as starting my own freelance business and having a little bit of a side hustle on the side. And this will easily get you to that 100K mark. And so that 60K a year salary job, I'll just kind of elaborate on. You're looking anywhere from the $25 to $35 an hour US, obviously, mark. And when you go into the business and you're going to actually apply for these jobs, it's important to have the knowledge up front before you actually apply. And so just having a little bit of refresher and knowledge of the public land system will put you leagues ahead of somebody who's coming in. Now, in the US system, there's something called Certified Survey Technicians, again, CST. And what that is a certification that kind of backs up the drafting side of things for land survey. And there's 4 levels to it. So you have CST level 1, 2, 3, and 4. Level 1 is somebody who comes in and can draw a little bit of line work, doesn't really understand survey theory. Level 2 is someone who can pretty competently draw topographic surveys and maybe as-builts. And level 3 is someone who understands the full extent of the public land system, how boundary surveys are made, all the complexities within surveying. And then obviously level 4 is like a project management role or project manager role. And they understand the business behind it. And that's actually what goes on in that test. But for the most part, the tests are not very hard. And so you can actually get in and come in and fast track at a level 2 or 3 when you get into this salary position. Now, the strategy that I use after that is most companies, when you go inside of them, they'll actually pay you to go and retake these tests, even if though you don't have it. So you can actually come in at a higher level with just straight up knowledge and being actually good at drawing surveys and being half decent at CAD. And then you can backfill in with these exams, and they usually pay for it. And what that includes is most of the time they give you a bonus. So every time you complete one of these, you get an extra, little bit of money on your paycheck. And on top of that, you're going to be getting a raise for stepping up in one level to the next. But you already came in at a higher level. And then being able to backfill actually puts you higher than somebody who came in starting at CST level 1, and then every time they took the exam, got a raise, and then got another raise, and then got another raise. And what this does is allows you, with unlimited overtime, to get you that $80,000 a year salary job. Now, the reason why surveying has unlimited overtime right now is because this lack of labor and this labor shortage that's occurring means that everybody is super far back on projects. So client surveys are taking upwards of 16 weeks, if not more, to get done from start proposal to actual finishing of the survey. And so what that means is that you could go into the office and do 2 hours of overtime a week. You could do 10 hours of overtime every single week. You could do 30 hours of overtime every week if your employer obviously allows that. So that's just time and a half on top of the normal salary that you'd be getting. So coupled with this strategy, you can actually get really high up with a relatively low starting position, if you understand what I mean. And so obviously this all kind of funnels in with this salary job. And what it allows you to do is exchange the knowledge and information that you learn while in this job, because obviously you're working under a licensed surveyor, and them being very knowledgeable in their career path, they're going to kind of rub that off on you, and you're going to be working on projects and learning a lot from that. And so it's almost like a free education to kind of funnel you into your own little freelance job. And so with these freelance jobs, ideally you just need one good freelance client. That will make you more than enough to push you over that $100,000 a year mark, coupled with the other strategies. And so, you make that extra money at the job, and that allows you to pay for the upfront initial cost that's going to take to start your own, freelancing gig. Obviously, you can just, ring phones. If you ring 100 phones, one will probably say yes. But having a good website helps. For example, this is an old website I use for my old company, landsurveydrafts.com. And as you can see, it's a pretty good template, pretty basic. It's got a little Calendly button in the bottom right. That's a nice little API you can use to book meetings with people. And so they're able to click on that, or enter in to request a sample drawing. I have this set up where automatically it sends someone some drawings from my portfolio. And this is actually kind of how the business started, is just because I was able to go in and start drafting for one guy, and then next thing you know, his buddy wanted me to draft for him. But anyways, that's how, you get a nice website. Then you can start spending a little bit of ads, do some marketing, especially social media, and kind of structure it the way that, I have with my social media, which is just a great leverage tool in order to get clients right now. And so if you have targeted ads, you can spend like $5 a day on ads and probably get some pretty decent clients just that way. And especially land survey, which is like super niche. So you're targeting just like a really small demographic, and you're hitting that quite hard with advertisements. And so if you make some half decent reels about yourself, as well as have a good portfolio and a website, people actually be coming to you, and you'll actually have to spend less time on the outreach. And what that does is it positions you as more of a figure and more of an expertise in the field, because they're coming to you obviously for help, to fix a problem. So the same thing goes with any job. You have these salary jobs, they're desperate for hires. Obviously they'll pay more for it, and because of that, they're higher leverage. So they're coming to you to fix a problem. That's any time someone hires somebody for anything, they're always fixing a problem. Good companies, however, they try to fix the problems before they happen, but most companies fix them when they exist. And so you're coming in to solve that problem. You're coming in to relieve that back pressure of 16 weeks of surveys that they're behind on, and get them caught up to speed by having that additional labor force behind them. So they're willing to pay the bill for that. And same thing can go obviously for someone who's hiring freelance. They're looking for someone who's reliable, and someone who has a presence. So having your name out there with social media is very crucial, or having a good website, but social media especially. Now, with freelance, obviously, you can command a way higher pay than if you were just in one of these salary positions. For example, you can charge anywhere from $40 to $50 an hour US for most surveying projects, even all the way down to really small, basic boundary topographic surveys for like residential stuff. That's mostly what my company used to do. We did by the hundreds. And those, they don't pay a lot, but you can get them done relatively quickly. In my last video that I discussed, you saw I probably drew a survey in about like 40 minutes, and that was about a $100 survey. And as a package for that, along with 4 other surveys for that same exact site, would be like a $500 package per individual property, which again, took about an hour to draw. So with these contracts, my best advice as far as hourly goes, you want to charge hourly to the clients if the project is over the 5-hour range. So if it takes you more than 5 hours to draft it, you probably want to chalk it up as like an hourly rate, and just, obviously you're going to be on the lower end when you first start. When you're really confident in your skills, you can start bumping it up and just negotiating. And that just comes with speed. So, the faster you're able to get something done that's bigger, the more money you can make on per the time allotted. Now, again, if you have the 1 to 4 hour range, I recommend you get paid by the project. So those little tiny home builders that I showed you in the last video of me drawing, you want to pay that by the project, because if you get that done in 30 minutes and you get paid $100, well, then your hourly ROI is like $200 an hour. I mean, realistically, it's taking you about an hour to get everything done, prep the job, email it off and everything. But still, $100 an hour is not bad for something that easy to draft. And so if you look back on that last video, you'll see how easy it was. And so basically this kind of all comes together where with that salary job as well as the freelance job, you're kind of in a good position to be making more money. And on top of that, you can start getting more clients in on the freelance side if you want, and start tipping the needle away from that salary job and start working towards your own business. Now, you really only need like 2 good freelance clients with land survey, working under land survey companies, or just one really big company, and you'll have enough work to start hiring people and eventually start your own business. So that's what I have over here. So 1 client enough for 40 hours a week. I mean, that says it for itself. 2 clients, you're more than you can actually do by yourself as an individual. So then you can start hiring employees. I started hiring out college students who went to my local university when I was studying, and they were engineers. They knew CAD, taught them survey, then they had a job. And then from there, it just kind of scaled up. And at one point, I had 7 dudes working in my house in my living room. So, obviously that's kind of a macro view of everything, but this is kind of the exact, pathway and step that I advise people who work with me to start from basically 0 CAD skills, or 0 with CAD skills, and then get all the way into land surveying and start making upwards of $100,000 a year. So hopefully that helps. And if you like it, feel free to follow me on Instagram. It's at Jason Hunt. So same thing as my YouTube, at Jason Hunt on Instagram. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot me a DM there. And thank you.